$963 million of the $973 million was Bitcoin long positions. Ethereum had 400 million as well, but that's over the last 24 hours. But look at that. Half of the hour cat liquidation wick was Bitcoin itself, a little over half, which is kind of crazy. Now, one thing that we see in bottoming or local bottom, let me tell you local bottom. Let me not say bottoming. Let me not make it seem like this could be the end. But in the local bottoms, we tend to see these big liquidation wicks, followed by pushes to the upside. You see, even in this downward momentum that we had one there, 12% move. For Bitcoin, we had another one there, which resulted in another 12% move for Bitcoin. We had one down here, which resulted in an 8% move for Bitcoin. And then we did have one here just earlier, about 3 days ago, which didn't really result in that much of a move. A quick on the day, maybe 4%, but it didn't result in what I would have wanted. Now, the interesting thing about where we are right now, this liquidity zone I have marked here, 85 to 82, it went through this like a knife through butter. Now, if we pay attention to the last bull market, right, you can see that if retesting the previous low here is what's happening, that's kind of what's going on right now. Now, of course, we may also be here, and we just need to accept that. We might be here with a bounce, we might be here with a bounce, we might be here with a bounce. But all of the occasions where we've had big pushes to the downside, whether or not we're going into a bull market, whether or not you think we are in a bull market, have had bounces. And so far, we've really had no bounce. It's just been a consecutive push to the downside. So there's two. I think the manipulators in this market are taking advantage of this opportunity. Now, is this the bottom? 81,900? I don't know. Right? Some exchanges, I think, put in an even lower print than that. But what's to pay attention here is, first of all, in my trade, I actually removed that break-even stop loss I put in this morning as I saw the cascade happen. I thought it was actually an opportunity. So I added to the position. Now my average price is 13.7 here for the Dogecoin trade. So again, guys, let me put back in my stop loss. This isn't break-even. This is just slightly below break-even. Would be about $1,000 loss there. But I really do think that we're due a bounce hit. And that might be naive for me to think, but every time, even when we confirm a bull market, a bear market, for example, coming up to this region, right, and then getting rejected, or coming up to, we on the daily chart, so the 200-day would be there, and then getting rejected, or the 50-week, let's get that up, would be coming up to there, here, about here, and then getting rejected. So all of the things that if we get rejected on, right, still have a bounce. And all the time we see these bounces happen, bull or bear market, even in the pits of the bear market, you can see right here, this was before back in, let me make sure you guys can see that, back here in June 2022, even before we did our our local low for the bear market, we actually had a bounce for Bitcoin of 40%. So as a short-term trader, I'm looking for the bounce here, and I'll be very cautious with this bounce, right? If we do see the trades going to prop, we can see the BlackRock ETF just hit its largest weekly outflow ever, 1.09 billion. The OG whale I was telling you about selling at 1.3 billion in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the most oversold it's been in 2 years. And a reminder here from CZ, he posted this in 2020, waiting for the headline. Bitcoin crashes from 101 to 85. What do we see? 126 to 81. So really not that far off the money. He literally said, save this tweet. Now people in the future will wait for $1 million crashes to 850,000. And that's what I think it does. Imagine being bearish on Bitcoin. Now, I'm not telling you to be bearish. I'm not telling you to be bullish. It's up to you. But this is what's happening. The U.S. is preparing a $2,000 stimulus check, apparently. All right? That's apparently. Japan is preparing a $110 billion stimulus package. China has approved a $1.4 trillion stimulus package. The Fed is officially ending quantitative tightening, apparently, on December 1st. The U.S. issuing $1.9 trillion in treasuries. Canada is restarting its quantitative easing program. The global M2 money supply is at record high, and global rate cuts are at 320 plus over the last 24 months. So maybe, just maybe, we're into a bear market, and in turn we get the opportunity to accumulate our favorite assets, a better price. That could be Bitcoin. That could be the S&P 500, which is also down. It could be the NASDAQ. It could be Nvidia or Tesla or even gold. Gold is down from the highs to the lows, or the recent lows, 7%, and it was before that down, look at that, 11%. So that could have been. And the one who's made money in Bitcoin has been through what we're going through right now. Where is it? Right now before, right? So, anyone who's sitting on profits up here, or even still on profits down here, had to go through this pain, had to go through this pain, and had to go through this pain right here, this pain right here, and potentially this pain right here, which may lead to higher highs soon, or may lead to a bear market, and then higher highs in a few years. Keep you guys up to date. I do think this recent push to the downside could be a local low, but no guarantees. I'm just putting my money where my mouth is and doing what my strategy